Nico Harrison's Mavericks experiment ended fast, too fast. Trading Luka Dončić for Anthony Davis and a handful of assets turned what was a finals caliber roster into a mess of injuries, role confusion, and cap strain. Dallas is 3-8. Cooper Flagg is the franchise's one unarguable bright spot, and owner Patrick Dumont pulled the plug. Who should fill the GM chair next? Here are 5 plausible, high-impact options, and why each one makes sense for a reboot centered on Flagg and long-term credibility. Bob Myers, credibility and championship DNA. If Dallas wants instant institutional trust, Bob Myers is the clear marquee hire. He built dynasty-level credibility in Golden State and still moves comfortably in the highest tiers of NBA operations. Myers has worked alongside Rick Welts before and would bring proven talent evaluation, cap savvy, and a championship blueprint. If Dumont wants to hit the reset button on public faith in the front office, Myers would be the fastest way to do it. He'd also attract coaching and scouting talent instantly. Grant Hill, bridges, relationships, and the Flagg connection. Grant Hill isn't just a respected former player. He's entrenched in USA basketball and has a direct connection to Cooper Flagg from the national team pipeline. Born in Dallas and deeply networked across college and pro circles, Hill could sell the franchise on stability and culture while leaning on his Rolodex to build complementary pieces. He'd be an outside-the-box pick who understands branding and player development, but he'd likely demand an ownership-level remit and a long-term commitment. Dirk Nowitzki plus Steve Nash, nostalgia branding package. This is the emotional play. Bring back a franchise icon and pair him with a basketball mind who embodies creativity. Dirk's presence heals optics with the local fan base. Nash's offensive vision could help architect a player-friendly scheme around Flagg. It's not the conventional hire for a long rebuild, but a Dirk-Nash leadership structure would buy goodwill, restore identity, and create a strong culture narrative. Expect this to be more PR plus culture than a pure basketball operating model solution. David Griffin, proven rebuild experience and roster surgery. If the ask is, take this roster and actually fix it, David Griffin fits. He helped build a title winner and has run rebuilds before. Griffin brings rigorous roster construction, trade market savvy, and an ability to clear cap confusion while acquiring role players who fit a clear plan. He's a technician who can map a path from chaos to contention. Pair him with a strong president or CEO, and he'd handle the heavy lifting. Rich Paul, the wild card with player leverage. Yes, it's unconventional. Rich Paul could be a controversial but effective hire if Dallas wants to secure elite agent relationships and aggressive roster moves. Paul represents stars, including Anthony Davis and others tied to this saga, and knows talent pipelines intimately. He'd be an instant magnet for player trust and could expedite big swings in personnel. The friction, a former player agent running a team, invites questions about conflicts and optics, but in a results-oriented league, that's a trade-off some owners would accept. What each choice signals: Myers, stability, rebuild by committee, top-tier trusted operator. Hill, culture-first, relationship-driven build with a long view. Nowitzki Nash, restorative, fan-focused identity rebuild that doubles as a development hub. Griffin, surgical roster fixes and credible rebuild mechanics. Rich Paul, player-first, bold market approach that bets on leverage and relationships. What Dallas needs now: practical checklist. 1. Protect Cooper Flagg's development. Limit overloaded usage, provide veteran playmakers, and guard the rookie from impossible shot creation burdens. 2. Restore shooting and playmaking depth. The roster lacks reliable spacing creators. That's a must in modern offense. 3. Clarify minutes and roles. Decide who the top 6 core looks like and stop chopping at the edges of rotation identity. 4. Rebalance the cap. Free up room to add mid-level playmakers who can start the season and survive injuries. Number 5. Fix internal trust. Ownership, front office, and medical staff alignment must be restored before any sustainable plan works. Bottom line, this job is tantalizing because of Cooper Flagg and terrifying because of the Doncic trade's hangover. If Dallas wants to buy credibility and process, hire Bob Myers or David Griffin. If the goal is culture, brand, and long-term identity tied to Dallas roots, Grant Hill and an advisory slate that includes Rick Welts and Dirk is compelling. And if Dumont wants an aggressive, player-centric pivot that uses relationship leverage to move quickly, Rich Paul is the risky, high-upside play. Pick the direction and hire the person aligned to it. The Mavericks need clarity more than anything right now. What looks like a single bad trade on paper actually reads like a slow-motion unspooling when you sit with it long enough. 9 months ago, the Mavericks pulled the ripcord and swapped Luka Dončić away. Fast forward, and the team that made the finals is flirting with a bottom-of-the-West record. The bench is thinner than anyone imagined, and the front office just lost its leader. So now the job is open, and picking the right successor matters more than headlines. Who can steady the ship, shepherd Cooper Flagg, and make sure this franchise doesn't keep trading away its future for momentary theater? Let's be honest about why this moment exists. The trade that sent Luka to LA was always going to be stressful. It was supposed to buy a different kind of timeline. What it gave the Mavs instead was fragility. Stars who miss games, a cap structure that leaves no breathing room, and the loss of complementary players who could have carried the load when the top names were absent. When your core is drifting and the governor of the franchise starts asking hard questions about return-to-play protocols, trust erodes fast. That's the context any incoming GM must inherit. So who's the right person to take this on? Here are 5 very different fits, and why each could be the spark or the misfire. Bob Myers. The credibility play. If you want to rebuild the front office's legitimacy overnight, you hire a guy with championship stamps on his resume. Myers knows how to manage star egos, win in the moment, and structure long-term success. He's connected, respected, and understands the architecture of modern front office power. The downside, Bob's not taking a job unless the fit's perfect, and the Mavericks need someone who's willing to roll up sleeves immediately. Not just a fixer who returns the office's credibility card. Grant Hill. The brotherhood play. He's Duke, he's NBA royalty, and he's been a smart, respected executive in USA basketball. Dallas is Cooper Flagg's city now in every way that matters. Bringing in someone who already trusts and has worked with Flagg could accelerate the rookie's maturation. Hill has historic ties to the region and the credibility to recruit, but he's also comfortable where he is. And convincing a high-level executive to leave a stable role for a turbulent rebuild takes more than nostalgia. Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash. The nostalgia play. This one's emotional, almost cinematic. Bring back the guys who defined the franchise's best years and let them steady the franchise culturally. Nowitzki is the soul of the organization. Nash is a basketball mind. Installed together, they'd reboot fan trust immediately. The problem is practicality. TV gigs, advisory roles, and family lives complicate full-time executive commitments. Still, if the Mavs want optics and healing as phase 1,